video is about GMOs, all resources that were used to make this video, and any information gained from these resources are in the description below. In 1994, the Calgene Biotech Company created the Flavor Saver tomato. Now, the Flavor Saver tomato had a special rotting enzyme taken out of it. That way it would have a longer shelf life. The Flavor Saver tomato would go on to become the world's first GMO commercially produced crop. Now, we don't have it anymore, but it did give away to many more GMO crops to be used in our market. Now, many believe GMOs are dangerous and unhealthy, but in reality, they aren't. GMOs are actually better for the ecosystem and society itself. GMOs are genetically modified organisms. Now, what that means is we take a crop and take a gene from the crop's DNA and change it using another crop or another organism's DNA gene. Now, we can use this to produce more food, make the crops survive harsher conditions, and even repel pests. Now, ever since humans discovered farming, we've been breeding animals and crops ever since, such as goats and even horses. Now, breeding is a hit and a miss when it comes to science. It means there's a good chance you'll get that gene that you want, and there's a good chance you won't get that gene. Using GMO science, we can specifically get the trait from a gene that we want in a crop. If we want the crop to produce more food, or if we want it to repel its own pests. We can use it using GMO science. And when it comes to pests, which is something farmers have to deal with a lot, we have genetically modified some plants to be more resistant to the pesticides. That way the chemicals won't get into them. However, this allows for more chemical companies to push pesticides onto farmers, making them very expensive, and farmers become very sick from pesticides. So we've made some crops have the ability to create their own pesticides. And this comes to the debate of pesticides versus BT crops. And what's on the menu today? Now, here comes the big part. BT crops use Bacillus thuringiensis. It's a bacterium we find in the soil. It creates a special chemical that kills off the digestive system of pests. And it actually isn't very harmful to humans, which means a delicious grape, just like this, is harmless to me, if I could kill an ant. This is amazing technology that we can use now. Carrying on with pesticides versus BT crops, we come upon a very interesting situation. In Bangladesh, farmers were having an issue with pests destroying entire harvests of eggplants. So, the farmers used large amounts of pesticides, but they became sick from the pesticides, and pesticides are extremely expensive nowadays. So, in 2013, scientists used genetic modification to change the eggplants into BT crops using Bacillus thuringiensis. Now, the BT crops killed off the pests and saved the farmers from becoming sick, and saved them from using too much money on pesticides. In Hawaii, the papaya industry was going nosedive down. Papayas were being contaminated with ringworm virus. So they took a gene from the ringworm virus, put it into the papayas, and it became sort of like a vaccination, making the papayas immune to ringworm virus, saving the papaya industry in Hawaii from complete collapse. Now, we've also been able to genetically modify crops to produce much more food. Here in Chowchilla, the company, Bass Sorby Ranch, was able to breed corn crops into producing 3 ears of corn on one stalk. Now, using genetic modification, we can get way more amounts of food on it. More almonds, more apples, more oranges, more everything. Now, we also have designed crops to withstand harsher environments. Here in California, in Fresno, they're testing soybean DNA with cactus DNA, putting them together to see if the soybeans will need less amounts of water. Now, if this technology does in fact work, and soybeans don't need that much water, we can put it into other crops. Meaning, with the occurring droughts we deal with here in California and the conservation of water, it'll help us way more in our crop production. The UN predicts we'll need 70% more food production by 2050. This is a very big task to complete. Now, using GMO science, we could produce way more food on less amount of land, which helps our ecosystem and helps our society at the same time. GMOs are questionable on our morals of doing them, but scientifically, they're very good. Now, GMOs are the future, and there's no telling how far we can go with them. But they truly are something incredible. Thank you for watching this video, and I couldn't have done this without the help of my sister Riley and my cousin Sydney. I hope to produce more entertaining educational content on this channel. Have a great day. And never do stuff like this at home. Ooh, science and fun here at my channel.